how we make a little pilgrim book. You get half of these nuts, and then you take out the nuts. Then you fill it up with clay, get a toothpick, get some paper, stick the toothpick through, and then you put it in the clay, and you have a little pilgrim book. This is how you make a pilgrim. What you do is you take some white paper, put it around, staple it, put some white paper, put it in here, and tape it on, and then we take this and we cut it out, then we tape it on, then we tape this on, and then we tape this little square thing on. Okay.
Okay.
This is it, and then this is how you do it. What you do is you take a yellow piece of paper and you cut away one of these shaped scissors, and we tape it around on this, and then we take some white paper and put it in there just like this. And we do this just like that. And then we cut some feathers, and then we taped them on, and we stuck it in the tape. This is the Thanksgiving menu I made, and here are the main dishes. Honey barbecued chicken, there's brisket beef, and then the vegetables we have, corn, mashed potatoes, spinach casserole, sweet potatoes, and here's the veg. And then dessert, chocolate chip cake, and that's all.
I do like watching him play. He's reckless.
And here is the servers: Catherine, age 5, Amber was 8, and Luke was 3. And do you see the pride on their faces, especially Luke, when he got to get a towel wrapped around him as an apron and got to be one of the servers. You know, I have had Thanksgiving dinners at the finest tables with the finest china, the finest silver, but I've never had a dinner as fine as that one. Last Thanksgiving, my husband Sam and I went to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and visited with one of our sons and his wife and their 4 children. And the little ones had spent 2 weeks preparing for us. They were so excited. They could not wait for Thanksgiving dinner. Their wise mother let them plan all of the decorations, let them pick out the plates, the cups, the napkins, everything to match, let them plan the menu, and it was a wonderful meal. I've got so many things to share with you today, so many things I had to write them down. I'm Betsy Thompson, and you're watching A Brush with Art. I know the audio was a little bad on the clip I showed you, but I thought it was such a precious thing, and the girls wanted to share it with you, so I wanted to use it anyway. But I'll go over a couple of those decorations in case you missed something, and they were really quite simple. Amber showed us, I think she called it a cocoa nut boat, but I think she meant an English nutshell boat or something like that. But anyway, you just take some nuts and you crack them, and you get one out. Let's see, I do think I have another one right here. And then you get a little piece of clay, which is in here. There it is. Looks just like one of the nuts. Get it kind of warm and press it in like that. That's kind of a two-toned one there. And then poke a couple of holes in a name tag. One here and one here. Put your toothpick through to make your sail. Stick it in your boat, and there you go. And you have a little nutshell name card for everybody at the dinner. So that was one of the things they did. And now another one they did was really cute. And let me see if I can just kind of rehearse that one a little bit. And that was the little pilgrim hat. And I just took a piece of paper about 1.5 inches by 4 inches. I folded it in half and stapled it, made it into a little round thing. And I cut out a little piece that size and cut out a little white thing here, taped it on, and just that simple. Now theirs were a little prettier because they had a little blue buckle on it too, but I didn't do that. So, and here we have our napkin holder. And as you can see, you can have one for however many guests you have. And then there was the little hat, the Indian hat or headdress. And I just took about 1.5 inches of brown paper. You could use red, yellow, green, whatever color you want. And then about 1 inch of another color. And as Catherine told us, you get some fancy scissors and you cut. Well, I don't cut too well with these fancy scissors, but I did try, and it's a little rough, but it will work. Okay, and then you just paste this onto the other side there. I'm recycling some paper here. Tape it on like that. You can cut your feathers out of construction paper if you would like, or I thought this was kind of fun too, and I just took some real feathers, got a dab of glue on there, pasted some different colors, and I thought that was cute too. And then I pull it around to the back and staple it just about like that, and there we have it. And that too makes a lovely napkin holder. You could sit them up like this, or you could lay them down. And as you can see, to get several of these on a table would be very, very attractive. And several of these. And I would not trade that dinner for anything. I'm going to use some of these on my table this year. And now let me see, what else did I want to talk to you about. Speaking of table settings, and theirs was superb. Several years ago, Sam and I were in Gatlinburg and Cherokee, and I saw some beautiful, beautiful Indian dolls or Indian statues. I don't really know what you would call them, but they were probably about 3 feet tall. They had absolutely beautifully exquisite features. Everything about them was genuine. They were dressed in genuine leather, genuine suede. They had real human hair almost down to the bottom of their dresses and their outfits. They were so pretty. They were also $1,000 to $1,500 each and worth every penny of it. I knew I was going to have to make my own Indian dolls, and so you may see some back here in the background, and I am working on that this year for my Thanksgiving dinner. And you may have noticed also some of the paintings. This is a series of paintings I did several years ago. They just kind of developed. It was nothing planned, but I was just getting into watercolors and learning how they ran and faded and worked with each other and worked against each other. And when I finished, I had dozens of paintings of Indians, mostly adults, in blankets. And that was about it, except for the colors, the expressions, and the postures. They were just Indians in blankets. And they're very, very meaningful to me because they're just my feelings at the time. I've sold many of them. I've had art shows in several different places with them, and these are the ones I've kept. But this is my inspiration for the Indian dolls that I'm making now. I've enjoyed doing this so much because I waited so long to finally get the chance to do it. So I'm going to put some of these things aside and show you how I'm doing this. And although most of them are dressed, I'm going to show you how I dressed them, so the clothes are just kind of laying on them like that. I'm going to clear everything off here, and I'm going to show you how I started. No hot glue. I don't like it. I will avoid it if I possibly can. I'm going to get some supplies out here. Okay, I decided to try Sculpey. I've heard about Sculpey. Was really anxious to try to find something I could do to use it, and finally I thought of it. I wanted to mold my own Indian faces, but didn't really have that much time to put into it and didn't have that much success. Maybe in time I could have done better, but instead I found a mold. Wasn't exactly the mold I wanted. I don't know how clearly you can see that. They're just kind of round, robust, almost cartoonish faces. There's feet and hands, but I didn't need those. And I don't think you can tell anymore from there. But anyway, I'm going to use, I have a lighter and I have a beautiful terracotta. But I'm going to use the lighter one because I only have one or two in that color. And I want to have a variety. So of course with clay you always want to get it warm in your hands so you can mold it. And with Sculpey we will mold it. We will make an impression from the mold, and then the directions say to cook it in your oven, just a regular oven, 275 degrees for every 1/4 inch of clay. And the directions are on the box, and so you can figure that out. But you just make a ball, and I want the largest head, and that one's in the middle. And I'm just going to press it in like this. Now, I had trouble with this mold. I had another mold just like it that did better. It was a mold of 2, and that might be why it did better. So, let me see. When I press down, it actually flattens the face out on the other side. So, haven't worked that out yet, but I can still show you enough of how to do it. I don't worry too much about what the back looks like because that's not going to show. And as you can see, that's unusable. What I did on some of them, I did squeeze the under the cheeks in to get some cheekbones. Well, a little bit there on the forehead too. Pull that nose out a little bit. And actually that is usable right there. But I've got one that's already baked, and I would suggest you get a 2 mold instead of a 3 because the 2 mold just worked beautifully. And let me see if I can find. Here's one that's been baked. Okay. I took this little thin dowel and just broke it over the counter into several small pieces. I liked it broken because it gave me the sharp edge I needed. I just stuck it up at the bottom of the head and then baked it according to directions. And this is nice and hard. And as you can see, it's warped a little. The back's flat. Not much to look at right now. But if you have the trouble I did, just kind of work it out a little bit. And you could even roll up some clay and put it on the nose. But the first thing I'm going to do is get some black paint. And we're going to get some features. Don't really need that much, but that won't hurt. And get my trusty paper towel back here somewhere. Right there. Okay. And I have a brush. Okay, I think I have everything I need now. So we'll just get this brush wet a little bit. This is water I'm using. Just going to wet the brush, get some paint on it. Paint it all over this. Get it down in the crevices good. And dab it in there about like this. And I went ahead and painted the back. It just made me feel better. about it. Also went back and painted hair on it later, but okay, we just want to do that. And then, of course, wipe it all off. And get that beautiful copper color coming out. Before it dries and soaks in too much, I'm going to get a little water on it and wipe a little more off. Mostly want it, hope I'm not moving too fast here, but I'll try to make sure you get a good shot of that so you can see what I'm doing. You see where it's all down in the creases, and I can even wipe some out here if I want to. Okay, now that that's good and dry on the top, I am going to go back and just paint a rim of hair. Sometimes the Sculpey made sort of a rim that looked like hair, and I'm just going to make it straight. Some of them look like they're parted in the middle. Some of them I just want it swept straight back, and this will give me that look. Okay, we let that dry, which won't take very long at all. Whoops, let me just get there. Yes, perfect. Okay, that's not going to take long, but I think I will go ahead and use the one, let's see, that I had already made, if I can find it. No, that's this one, so I'm going to have to let that dry. Okay, while I'm letting it dry, I will tell you about some of the ways we dress them. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, I'll let that dry and then put the glaze on, which gives it this beautiful, beautiful china pottery color, and like this one over here. And so let's let that be drying. And to dress them, I didn't want to put a lot of money in it. I really didn't want to use real suede and leather and fur, although you could find old coats and cut them up, old shirts. There's something to think about. But instead, I think I'm going to have to get down, come over here. I went to the fabric store and I bought short pieces of fabric, and by that I mean 1/2 to 5/8 of a yard. So even at $6-7 a yard, that's a very, very good price. And then I cut each piece into 2 pieces. That's half of 1 piece. So I cut it into 2, and so here's another beautiful, beautiful color. These are a little bit big for the size of the dolls, but the colors, and when they get on the doll with everything else, it works fine. Another piece, and what I did was fringed every piece for a blanket. Drew a line so I could tell where to stop, and then on the other side we have these beautiful fringes. I did a lot of this blanket type, and then I also tried some of the beautiful ruby red velvet to get the color, the beautiful indigo color. I was very, very disappointed in this. This is a faux suede, and I thought it was beautiful and fringed it, but it did not fringe well at all. So you want to kind of play around with some fabrics. This is also a green suede, and very disappointed in it too. It just doesn't look like suede, and it can't be fringed. I do think this is another piece I found. It has an acetate backing to it, and I think this one's going to work. This one I have started fringing, and that will work fine. So that's what I'll use from now on. Now let me show you my theme. My theme was elongated. It was simple. Don't worry about arms, hands, feet. Think in layers. Think voluminous. I can't say that word, but I think you know what I mean. Now, before I glaze it, I'll show you how I fixed it so that they would stand up. Again, I didn't want to put a lot of money in it, so I didn't want to spend a lot on the form or the body. These were just about the right size, and I'm using a silicone clear glue, which will not melt the styrofoam. And just put a generous amount on this. This is a plant holder. It's cork. I got it at the Everything a Dollar store. So glue that on there. Okay, and after this bakes and after you glaze it, you just push it all the way in. And then you can start dressing your doll. And here's one of the things I did. This was actually scraps I already had, and I just wrapped it around. You can put pins in it to hold it. That's one of the beautiful things of it. Here's one of the blankets I made, and I love the way they just remind me so much of the paintings I painted for so many years. They just drape perfectly. And then I found a bunch of jewelry that I don't wear anymore and don't have it right here with me. But anyway, use that. Just stick it right in there and it'll hold. Here's another one. I think I want to use one of these over here. Yeah. After I got one of them dressed, you see how well they stand up on the little platforms they have. This is just the red velvet. This is some leftover fur. This is a scarf I found in my drawer. This is an earring I don't wear anymore. And here's another one I think is so beautiful. Okay. This is the faux suede, and as you see, it just didn't hold up well, but I can replace that with something else. This is a bracelet. Here is one of those beautiful blankets, and I'm going to put it on this one this way so the fringe comes down on both sides. One more here, and this one is in all blue. This is some of my jewelry that I will bring up and put around the neck. I love this. Is a short little blanket, and these fringes almost look like feathers. And then just one blue feather, I think, is fine for that. And you can see I've got more dolls back here, and I have these dolls, and I'm going to share those with you at another time. But here is the beautiful glazed face. And I hope that you'll try these and make your own, use your own ideas and everything. And now what I'm going to do is take a few minutes and set my buffet table and come back and show you how I'm going to use these. Okay, this is going to be similar to my Thanksgiving table this year. It will be a buffet. This table will not be the food table. This will just be for the dishes, and this is going to be my decoration here. And I'm going to put down some colorful dishes in the Indian theme using some Fiesta that I already have and some other colors, and put a couple out like this of some antique serving pieces, some sturdy looking silverware to kind of match the theme, some antique glasses. These are wonderful for decorations, for hot spiced tea, for boiled custard. They keep things hot, they keep things cold. Okay, and just set these around. And then the wonderful little things we made, the little name places. Even though it's a buffet, everybody here gets a name, gets their name. Right about there. Oh, and then these beautiful little napkin holders like that. Okay, and we'll have some of those around. And Dylan, my 9-year-old, helped me make the faces of the Indians. He'll be there, and he'll be happy to see all of this. And then a few candles sitting around. Again, they're just what I had at home. I didn't want to go out and buy more just for this occasion because I've already got so many. And then some kind of a floral arrangement that looks a little Indian. And that will be our buffet table. And I've enjoyed every minute of it. Now, on another show, I want to talk to you about the bigger Indian dolls in the back. And I want to show you how to make this Indian vase using a a vase that you already have and just covering it, and this can be removed and not bother your vase at all. My decorations are whatever I could find out in the yard at the time. Had a few leaves left. They've even kind of deteriorated just since I picked them, and a few branches, and just think of your own ideas and see what you can come up with. Let me see, a couple other things I'm going to want to share with you on another show is a beautiful Indian frame that I saw, and it's a little pricey. I didn't want to pay for what they were asking, so I thought I could come home and make one, and I did, and I was real pleased with it. And then I found the frame on sale, so I bought that, and I have both of them now. So we'll do that on another show, and I also have some watercolors that I'm working on to share with you and show you how to do some really nice southwestern paintings. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed the kids' Thanksgiving dinner, and I hope you've enjoyed our Indian figures. And remember my email. If you have any questions, email me and I will get back with you. And thanks for joining A Brush with Art.